Hello. Welcome back to the second of the Western Star podcast reviews. My name is Hunter West. How you guys doing? And welcome. So, over the past couple last week, um, I've seen two movies to talk about. One of them is a new one, but one of them was a re-release. And today's stream is going to be discussing fully in depth on the film Don't Worry, Darling, the newest and the newest film from director slash actor Olivia Wilde. It's from Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema. Stars Florence Pugh, Harry Styles. What else do we have? We have Nick Kroll, Kiki Lane, Gemma Chan, Olivia Wilde herself, and Chris Pine in this movie as well. It is also written by the same writers who wrote her other film, the directorial debut of Booksmart. And this is going to be 100% non spoilerish for anybody who wants to watch the movie themselves. I'm not going to spoil anything. Um, I'm not going to try to spoil anything, but just know it's 100% spoiler free. So the movie goes as followed: is as there's this couple, Florence Pugh and Harry Styles, who live together in this town. This kind of town that is like in the middle of this, deserted area. And there's this thing that her husband works on, Jack, played by Harry Styles. Alice's husband is Jack. Alice is played by Florence Pugh. Jack is played by Harry Styles. And there's a job that he does, and Florence Pugh's character Alice starts to realize that there's something going on here. There's things in the sky that aren't what they seem. One person's acting a little bit strange. Things aren't, normal. And she starts to realize what is happening here isn't normal. And she starts to get under the cracks of everything, figure out really what's going on at the Victory Project. What is the Victory Project? Is this real? Is this not real? Who is the bad guy? What is happening? And it is kind of like a thriller ish film movie in a way. It's a thriller, a murder, not a murder mystery, but a mystery in a way. And that's pretty much the plot synopsis of the movie. So let's go move on to pre predictions. I was very, very it's not very, very excited, but I was interested to see this movie because I did think the trailers looked really cool. They reminded me of something like The Truman Show with Jim Carrey, Inception, The Matrix, and the second trailer came out and it got me even more interested because I felt like there was something cool that was behind this movie that probably would make a representation of it. And I was excited to see how Olivia Wilde would do on her second. This is her sophomore film. Her first film was obviously Booksmart. Um, and that movie went to get great reviews. Not only that, it also had a great track record and got her tons of recognition, so much that everybody was excited to see how she would do with this movie, Don't Worry, Darling. And then press screenings or film festival premiered, and out of nowhere, there started to be this whole spew of drama. Um, I mean, we can talk about the fact that there was some tensions between Florence Pugh and Olivia Wilde on set. Occasionally, Olivia Wilde would be sneaking off to do things with Harry Styles as the director and an actor on the set. There was some problems with the fact that Florence Pugh was only paid 700,000 for this movie, and there was also a video that apparently showcased that Harry Styles might have spat on Chris Pine at the Venice Film Festival. And that was the one chance to really help your film out really well, and all the drama surrounds it. And the film also, Olivia Wilde said apparently this was a homage to a person. Somebody is the villain of this movie, and it just didn't really. I don't know the person. I can't remember the name, but it was a lot of tension, a lot of drama, and then the reviews started coming out, and they were not good. They were not good reviews. The reviews coming out were saying that the film was polarizing, ambitious, but flawed. Harry Styles gave a dull performance. The movie has Florence Pugh acting her best, probably the best she's ever been. And she also is, the only actress and actor that is good in the movie. Everybody else does a dull performance. And the twist ending that happens towards the end, which I won't spoil, is not as impressive, or it is just downright ridiculous. And that got me even more nervous. And this came out 3 weeks before the film was scheduled to release. So it came out last week. I saw it Thursday. I didn't want to go see it. I didn't see it Friday. And I was invested throughout the entire film. I wasn't bored. I wasn't, checking my watch. I was checking my watch, but I wasn't at all like tired. It wasn't boring me at all. And then the third act happens, and the movie, it sucks. I'm sorry, it sucks. It's not a good movie, and it's frustrating because there is good. There is definitely good in the film, and Florence Pugh is. I'll say this: Florence Pugh is the best part of this entire movie, and you watch this movie for Florence Pugh. She is the main reason why you want to watch this film. She is extraordinary in this movie. She is really good. She's giving a great performance, and she sells you on it. You can tell she is desperate for answers, and she's trying to figure out what's really going on in this place. And it was really good. I thought she was the best part of the movie. The cinematography and the filming, the locations looked good. They looked bright, clear. Production design is cool. It looks like an old 1970s, 1960s ish sort of landscape that, featured great, homage back to the old times. And there was a lot of music that was played like that. And so those things I appreciated a lot. But other than that, that's really it. The other cast in the movie they're fine, but they're nothing really. Um, Olivia Wilde is fine in a movie. She kind of disappears for like half of it. Um, and then you find out something that happens with her character. Nick Kroll is in the movie. He's wasted. He's a comedian. Um, but he's wasted in the movie. Gemma Chan is kind of wasted in the movie. She doesn't appear a lot. Chris Pine, he's good in the movie. I like Chris Pine. I've always liked Chris Pine. I'm excited to see what he does in Dungeons and Dragons, which is coming on next March 2023. But with all that, Harry Styles is the one guy that everybody was excited for. And most of the Harry Styles fans were looking forward to this movie. He's one of the more popular artists right now. And I'm not going to lie, his music is entertaining. I liked some of the music that he has, you know, and some of the music that he has are put into some of my favorite, like mixes on SoundCloud. So I appreciate what he does. I don't think he's a terrible actor. I think he's a good person. And I really enjoyed him in the scenes that he had with Dunkirk, even though Dunkirk as a whole was decent enough, but I still think that he did a really good job in it. And this is apparently, I think, the second film that he's acted in. He's got another movie coming out called My Policeman, which is coming out on Prime Video. But everybody was looking forward to this movie because this is kind of like, oh, this is the Harry Styles that I like. That's something I don't know. I don't know the minds of that, but this was apparently um his second role, and apparently this wasn't supposed to be him. This was supposed to be Shia LaBeouf. There was a lot of and that drama as well. I forgot to mention because apparently Shia LaBeouf, uh, there was rumors that he quit or Olivia Wilde fired him. And it was a lot of tension, and nobody knew what it was. But then he showed documentation of him quitting. All that said, Harry Styles is the newest Jack. He is the actual Jack that is being played in this movie. And he, unfortunately, despite everything that I said, gives a bad, not bad, but a dull, slow, stale performance as Jack. He is trying to he's trying to be serious, and he's trying to be this sort of nice, caring husband, and sometimes it looks like he's doing well. But when it's overacting and when he's trying really hard, you can tell there's a difference in the way he's portraying it because his acting when he is starting to get like angry and yell is bad. There's a scene that happens, I won't spoil, that every time he was yelling, he stopped his sentence and he paused and gave an expression like he is angry at you. Like he would be yelling at somebody, he would be yelling and yelling, and then he would do this. And then he would continue on and then he would do the same thing. And it made me just like think, what would Shia LaBeouf have done? Shia LaBeouf's a good actor. I mean, he done some things recently that were fine. Why was there drama around him? I just didn't understand. And I don't dislike Harry Styles. My sister really enjoys Harry Styles, but the problem here is that there's a difference between, a singer actor or singer and a singer who's acting. And sometimes there's a difference in transition. When somebody is singing and they move on to acting, it's different, but when they get more gigs and they get used to it and they get better people to make a movie, it usually means that okay, they know how to act like Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx was a singer before and now he's doing some acting. And he is now well known as an actor. Um the problem here is that he is not really experienced as much, even though he was in a big budgeted movie as Dunkirk with Christopher Nolan. He didn't have a lot of screen time to really shine. This does require a lot of screen time from him to shine, and that is a huge problem. This is better than the movie that came out. What was it? There was a terrible movie, He's All That, where a TikTok star transitioned to acting, and it was just god awful. It was really bad. And so that's different because that's the background story of it, the IP, the TikTok thing is just ridiculous. So there's plenty of time for him to improve. And I feel like this movie was not a good choice because he doesn't give me like a good vibe. And there's a scene where he has a beard and it looks so out of place. It looks so fake. And it just doesn't work. Then the movie is, like I said, for the first two parts of the film, two thirds, I was never bored, but I just didn't really like care. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about the drama. The writing is not that good, and this is partially due to Olivia Wilde, and as much as I do like her work, I don't really like what she did with this film and the way she was driving it towards the end because it just doesn't make sense. There are scenes in the movie that don't make sense or that you're wondering, oh, why was that happening? And by the end of it, they don't answer anything. They don't really give you an answer of what's happening. And then, you have the whole plot synopsis, which we've seen before. Something's normal happening here, and then one day something goes on, but people are fine about it. But one person's like, no, 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 something's up, guys. No one's believing me. I'm going crazy. And then by the end of the movie, it's like, oh, you guys believed me. So now look what happens. It's like that. And we've seen it before. We've seen it millions of times. We've just seen it done better. And this is one of them where it is not done in a good way because the end result has to hit. Like it has to be perfect for everyone in the audience and for everyone to, like to be like, okay, I understood that and that made sense. And going back and thinking about the movie and some of its scenes that happened, that's a good idea, to further discuss it. The problem here is that towards the end of the movie, none of those plot holes and those questions are really answered. Like there's a scene with a plane that happens in the trailer that flies over Florence Pugh's bus and apparently it crash lands somewhere and then it's just completely forgotten. And by the end of it, I was wondering what was the significance, what was the symbolism of the plane? And there was no symbolism. Then there's a scene where you see in another trailer where she's cracking some eggs and there's no yolks in them, it's all fake. What was the point of that? Why was that there? And then scenes later, there would be eggs and she would be cooking the eggs and there would be yolks inside. So what is the problem? What was different between those eggs and this one? And then, towards the end of the movie, they start answering questions. And this is where normally if a movie doesn't hit in the first two acts, which it didn't for me, that's where you need to make it work. That's where you need to make a good impact on your movie. That's where you need to make it strike. And that's where you need to execute. And as soon as a scene with Florence Pugh walking out of a building happened, which I'm not going to spoil, but when it happened, I was getting nervous because I was like, please don't do this. Don't do that, where you're doing that symbolism and you're doing that kind of twist, and they do it but it's handled so weirdly and it just doesn't make any sense. And then by the end of the movie, you're wondering like, wait, what happened here? What about there? What about that? And that? And this? And this? And that person and that person and that and oh that person. Like you're questioning what really was the purpose for that? And the real question is, what was the purpose for this drive, this direction? What was the purpose for Olivia Wilde driving the movie to go this way? Why was this the product and the end result of the movie that she made? Like, she knew a movie like this would have to work only if the movie was entertaining, if the movie was investing, and the ending stuck the landing. But this movie did not stick any landing. Apparently, the majority of the critics didn't even think either. It's got a 38%. I mean, that's 1.9 out of 5. It's terrible, and then the worst happens and it's like the movie keeps going and going and then there's a scene that comes out of nowhere with Gemma Chan and Chris Pine that's like, well wait, what about this and what about that and this and that, and I don't want to I really don't want to spoil anything because I want people to go and see what I'm talking about because they might think I'm being too harsh, but I'm not being harsh. That's what happens. The end result of this movie doesn't work. This is kind of like that movie Us where it's like an ambitious director did something and he put in a lot of effort and the first two acts worked, and then the second act reveal of what's really going on doesn't work. Did work for me. I Love Us, um, directed by Jordan Peele, but in a situation like this, it doesn't work. None of it's working, and then you're starting to question, okay, that's some people will like it. Some people will like the ending and think, "Oh, that's innovative." But that's such a boring way to, what was the message of this? The message here is, or the message she's trying to give is that you can have a great life if you put your mind to it. And I won't say anything else because I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but that's really the message she's giving, is like you can create a perfect life, and that's what I'll leave you at. I mean, it is nothing but, you know, disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, scene after scene, and then they try to implement like a lot of weird horror elements in it. Like there's a scene with like a glass that is supposed to be like, oh, that's supposed to be scary. Doesn't make sense. It really just confuses me. And what's worse is that this movie has a great actress leading. They have a great actress. Florence Pugh is great in this movie, and they have great production design. It's just that the story is terrible and the ending is downright ridiculous, to a point where it honestly makes me want to laugh. It makes me want to laugh at the screen, but I will say this, the box office kind of kind of made it like, oh, it didn't matter. Made the Thursday I went, it made 3.1 on Thursday previews. It also sold out on all IMAX early live showings with Harry Styles at present. So, oh, there's a reason why, because Harry Styles was going to be answering questions. Um, and the movie made $19.4 million on its opening weekend, which is good. It's better than last weekend's winner, 19.05 from The Woman King, which is a far superior movie. You don't need to watch this. I would wait till streaming, but the movie worldwide made $30 million under a $35 million budget. And so, to me, did the box office really affect did the drama really affect the box office? I would say no, because I mean, even if even if the drama didn't happen, who was really going to go out and see this movie, even if it got the reviews? Like, I think people would have waited till streaming, because it is going to be streaming soon on HBO Max, because it is a Warner Brothers property film, and it just did not stick the landing. I don't know. I think there's going to be some people out there who are going to really like it, and some people who are going to really hate it. And there's some critics out there who thought it was right in the middle, but then there's some critics who don't absolutely think it hit. And I'm one of the people that thought it did not hit at all. There was no there was no reason for this movie to be as bad as it was, because you have a director who knows how to make a good movie. You have cast members who are great at what they do. You have a good possible roadmap, but then the ending you chose screws that whole thing up. And once you get into the reveals and what's actually going on, you know, it completely ruins your movie and makes it unlikable. So I'm not recommending this. I don't think the majority of the people are. I I can't recommend this movie, and I don't think it was needed. Like this could have been fine if it was tweaked a little bit, even if it was shorter. But it's 2 hours long, and a movie with 2 hours, you should be able to have everything like come together and be like, okay, I understand what you meant with this. I understand what you meant with this with Jordan Peele. Symbolism. He does a lot of symbolism in the movie. That's what makes his movies work. This one, it's a different film than her other movie, Booksmart, because that movie was a comedy. This movie is a psychological thriller and a mystery movie that doesn't work. And when you're tangling or tackling some topic like this, you know, it's really hard to get in with the critics and the audiences, because if both of those don't match, then you've pretty much screwed up your movie. If the critics hate it, but the audience loves it, I don't know what to tell. If the critics love it, but the audience hates it, then the audience obviously didn't like the ending. But if both of them don't like it, then the movie didn't work. But if both of them love it, then your movie absolutely worked. But it just depends on your opinion. If you think the ending works, that's perfectly fine. If you think that the story was good, that's perfectly fine. If you think Harry Styles did a good job, that's perfectly fine. I think he did a mediocre job. I don't think he was good in the movie. And that definitely can affect uh, you know, him doing things upcoming, which I don't know if he's gonna continue to act, because apparently there was some rumors that said he's probably gonna retire from acting, which honestly I don't really know. And I think the problem here is just there was a lot of ambition. There was a lot of notes taken for this movie. There was a lot of things that were like, oh, I know this. This reminds me of this. There was a lot of reminders. There's a lot of talent, and there's a lot of money put into this, and it wasted it all. It's not it's not enjoyable. I was bored at one point. The ending makes no sense. The characters I don't care about. I don't care about these characters. Not even the main character, because at a point it's like she she just I don't even know what to describe, because I don't want to spoil it. And I don't really want to spoil things, because I want people to go see it for themselves. So if there is a chance for if you want to see it, I would see it and judge for yourself. And not just as a Harry Styles fan, just Harry Styles, they're gonna definitely be like, the movie was good, Harry Styles was great, that's it. But they'll probably get mad, or they won't get mad, but others will get mad because he's probably not giving a good performance and the ending doesn't hit, or the movie is boring. And the movie is boring. 2 hours just doesn't feel right. Then you have, countless subplots of there's this, there's that never gets solved. There's all these plot holes that never get solved. Like, oh, what happened to the plane flying around? What happened to this woman who was acting crazy? What happened to the outside? You know, what happened to the eggs? What happened to this person? What is going on here? How does it relate? How is this the ending that Olivia Wilde decided to tell? Why was this the end result of her movie? And this drama did not have anything to do with the movie's performance as critically and box office. It was the movie she made before all this happened was the result. This was the result of the movie she made before all the premieres and drama. And it was not good. This was not a good movie. And I'm sorry if, I'm just wondering, hold on a minute. I gotta remember when I gave it. Okay. And it's going to be difficult for people to understand that this is not going to be a movie for everybody. So if you are somebody who likes thrillers, but you want them done effectively, I don't see you liking this. I don't see a lot of people liking this. I don't see, the majority of critics liking this, because the majority of critics don't like it, but the audience will be like, it's good. I enjoyed it. I think Harry Styles is good. Florence Pugh is good. Everybody's going to agree that Florence Pugh is the best part of the movie. And the production design is good. But that ending and these first two acts that slug right through do not work. Harry Styles is an uninspiring performance. He's not good in the movie. Chris Pine is kind of over the top a little bit. I don't care about these characters. I don't care about the story. I don't care about this area that we're in. And I just find it weird that out of the whole area of like wherever they filmed it, there's just a little mini town. Like just thinking about it, there's this little mini town in this little area and it loops, it's like a loop and it's like a circle and there's no I didn't see any stores, any buildings, you know, it's just a little town. Like that alone just sounds suspicious. And so I can't recommend this movie, and I'm going to give Don't Worry Darling a D minus. The only reason it doesn't get an F, and I wasn't close to it, but the only reason why it doesn't get an F is because Florence Pugh is the best part of this movie. She is the best part of the movie. Oh, and I forgot to mention, there's this constant like editing of these women dancing that comes out of nowhere, and it just confuses me, it just confuses me. And so this was a very long review because I want to go in depth on these movies. I want to go in depth on everything. And so I don't recommend this movie. I don't think it was worth the wait. I think that them premiering this at the Venice Film Festival was a mistake. They thought they would got something good, but they didn't. And the box office kind of showed in May 19, but that's not a good number for a movie against a $35 million budget. It will recoup its budget and it will make money and people will still go see it. But then there's going to be other movies coming out in the weeks by that don't really, that will match, that will perform better than this. So I don't really think this was worth the wait. And I don't know, what is in store for Olivia Wilde or any of these people because it's got such bad controversy. And I don't think it truly affected the numbers in the box office or the critics, but it's just not good. It's not a good movie. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't really want to watch. I would never watch this again if it was streaming or if it was playing on TV. I would never watch it. So yeah, there's the review of Don't Worry Darling. D minus. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give Don't Worry Darling. If I was doing a 1 out of 10 scale, this is a 2 out of 10. This is a 2 out of 10. This is a D minus, and do not see it. So now we're gonna get into the discussions of movie news now. Um, there's another thing I forgot to do because I didn't do it last time because I was just giving you all the movies that I've seen and ranking them. But this is going to be movie news. So let's get into some topics that have been recently revealed to many people. Starting with the fact that Star Trek fans are going to get a little bit upset because, and I'm going to pull out the article right now, is that unfortunately, let me see if I can find it. I'm sorry. Um, okay, here it is. For Star Trek fans, it's going to be a little bit disappointing news, but to read this, um, I was not a massive fan of Star Trek. I never watched Star Trek growing up, but I've heard so many people talk about it. Um, that being said, it's always been, an IP that a lot of people love. And so when they rebooted it in 2008, it was exciting. Star Trek was finally back and it made a lot of money. The sequels came out. I love Star Trek Into Darkness. Star Trek Beyond was good. I don't think it made as much money as the other two, but still it was pretty good. And then, the series came out, Picard. A lot of people did not like Picard. And so that's streaming on Paramount Plus right now. I don't have Paramount Plus, but whatever. And so after the release of Beyond, there was development of a fourth movie, but it never came into like, oh, we're gonna release it here. We're gonna release it then. It was originally scheduled for a June 9th, 2023 release, and then that got moved to December 22nd because Transformers, another Paramount IP movie, had to be moved from that film as well. So, after a couple months passed, they found out that the director, Matt Shackman, who created the WandaVision, the show on Disney Plus, had to drop out of it. And so they were on the move for another director because he's now directing the upcoming MCU Fantastic Four. Well, things just got worse because apparently the movie has been taken off of the release date. This comes from Deadline and um, others for Variety, who wrote the following. Paramount has removed its untitled Star Trek sequel from its upcoming film slate. The project, produced by J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot, had been dated to hit theaters on December 22nd, 2023. The rather inevitable news comes roughly 1 month after director Matt Shackman exited Star Trek film, which was nominally set to be the fourth cinematic tour of duty for Chris Pine as Kirk, Zachary Quinto as Spock, Zoe Saldana as Uhura, Carl Urban as Bones, John Cho as Sulu, and Simon Pegg as Scotty. Shackman was successfully ported by Marvel Studios to helm its Fantastic Four reboot, reuniting the WandaVision director with the studio after Spider-Man No Way Home director John Watts left that film in April. Shackman becomes the first attached to the Star Trek sequel in the summer of 2021, following his acclaimed run directing every episode of WandaVision. The announcement even landed the same day Shackman was nominated for an Emmy on the show. Then this February, Abrams announced during the Paramount Global Investors Day presentation that a new Trek movie will be shooting by the end of the year and will feature our original cast. The only problem was that Pine, Quinto, and the rest of the cast had not been officially signed up for the movie when an announcement was made, leaving Paramount with less than a year to secure the in-demand actors. It's not been for a lack of trying. Either Paramount has pursued multiple Trek films projects since Beyond, including reuniting Pine and Hemsworth, who played Kurt's father, for director S.J. Clarkson, as well as versions overseen by Fargo, Ansher Noah Hawley, and yes, even Quentin Tarantino. So let's also the recent trilogy of Star Trek movies produced by J.J. Abrams, starring the young versions of the legacy TV characters, have all grossed $1.96 billion in total. So this means that Star Trek's in trouble because right now people have nothing to really look forward to. The movie was scheduled to come out December 23rd or 22nd, 2023, and now they're like, nope, we can't do that. And apparently they're going to remove it, which honestly, I don't know what they're going to do because I have not been as excited. And to think about it now, it would have been 7 years since the last movie Beyond came out in July 22nd or July 29th, 2016. And so pretty much now they're going to wait longer. And I don't know how long they're going to wait because then it's going to be like, oh, you waited this long. Who cares? It doesn't matter. And so that's a huge problem. Um, so what do you think? Obviously, this is going to be, hard to, get behind everything. But yeah, that is the first news. New Star Trek movie has been officially removed from the release date calendar from Paramount. And just let me know if you're a fan of Star Trek. What do you guys think of this news? And do you think that Matt Chapman did the right thing of leaving the project to work on Fantastic Four? And if so, let me know. I don't know. With that down, I'm so sorry. My glasses are terrible. With that down, let's move on to a little bit of other movie news. Well, not really movie news. Well, yeah, actually, movie news. We had two more things. The first one is this: Deadpool 3 was apparently was rumored to come out many years. The last time Ryan Reynolds was on screen for Deadpool was May 18th, 2018. And that film went on to do really well in the box office. And it's been super long. It's been almost now 5 years now, 4 years now since the last Deadpool movie was made. And there were rumors of Deadpool 3, but there was no confirmation of it. There was no confirmation at CinemaCon or D23. There was no announcements made, even at the San Diego Comic Con, none of it. Last night, Ryan Reynolds took on Instagram and on his YouTube channel and pretty much talked about how we know you guys have been waiting for Deadpool 3. Guess what? We're going to do it. And Wolverine is officially coming back. That's right. And now I got to pull on my phone because the news is on there as well. Let me just find it again. Oh, here it is. This comes from the people at Variety. Hugh Jackman will be back as Wolverine in Deadpool 3. Ryan Reynolds announced on his social media Tuesday afternoon Deadpool 3 has had an official release date of September 6, 2024. Sean Levy, who made Free Guy and The Atom Project with Reynolds, is directing Deadpool 3, which will officially join the Marvel Cinematic Universe after Disney's purchase of 20th Century Fox. Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, who penned the first two Deadpool movies, returned to write the third. Reese had previously confirmed that Deadpool 3 will remain R rated, even within the family friendly MCU. The last time X Men fans saw Jackman as Wolverine was in 2017's R rated Logan, directed by James Mangold. Wolverine, spoiler alert, famously had died at the end of the film, and Jackman has stated that the film was his swan song in the role. So it's unclear how he'll appear in Deadpool 3, but the character is best known for the repeatedly breaking the fourth wall on the film and in the comics. Anything is possible in the multiverse. So this got me interested and I'm really excited because now we have Deadpool 3 finally coming out 2024 and I'm really excited to see this movie now. This is probably going to be one of my most anticipated movies looking forward to years to come. I would really love to see how they're going to nail this, what they're going to do, and if they do it right, you know? Because I haven't hated the first two Deadpool. I love the first two Deadpool movies. Deadpool 1 is better than Deadpool 2. Um but I think that there's definitely going to be some people who are going to hate this because it's like, oh, why are you bringing back Wolverine? You know, but there was always skepticism that Wolverine might have returned, but we don't know how they're going to do it. Probably has something to do with the multiverse, with all these barriers. So that's cool and interesting, and I'm really excited now to see it. Question is though, what do you guys think? Are you interested to see Deadpool now, or what? Now, moving on, I'm just gonna do some quick television news, just to get that out of the way, and that is this. One of the shows that I really enjoyed, um, a couple weeks ago that I've been rewatching multiple times on Prime Video is a show called The Wilds. This stars a bunch of women, and this is pretty much about a group of girls, teenage girls, are stranded on an island and are forced to fend for themselves when they realize that the island isn't what it seems to be and that there's an experiment going on around them, and they need to figure out a way to survive and not all die on one another. And there's specific characters that have to deal with things that you get flashbacks of. And it was great. And within a week, this show it got renewed for a second season. Season two filming came out in like early 2021, and in summer 2021, and the show premiered in May 6th of 2022 this year. And fans waited for a second season or a third season, and they decided to cancel it. July 28th, 2022, I was sitting just scrolling through Instagram and I saw this and I was like, that's fake. Like, because I seen an edit of that before, but that's fake. And then I saw more and I was like, No, don't tell me they actually did it. And they did. And so the fans were like, nah, I don't think we like that. So you know what? We're going to protest. We're going to do hashtag save the wilds, hashtag renew the wilds, and we're going to spread it all over the world. And we're going to get a billboard. There is a billboard in California. You can look at, I think there is a billboard that is in California that has bring us home with 8 of the characters on that screen. And I think it was drawn by somebody, so that is really cool. So that is actually real. And 55 days passed, and recently it came clear that I think the studio or the people, Sarah Stretcher, who created the show, saw this and was like, I think I have to address it. And so she wrote the following. Again, I have to bring it up because it is important. Um, Hold on. And she wrote the following. To the extraordinary fans who rally behind the Wilds, though the show will not continue, your fully hearted support was widely noticed and deeply felt. You led a beautiful movement that made a real mark. We stand in awe and gratitude. Fighting for what and whom you love was a core tenet of the show. Thank you always for just doing that. So, this brought me to the conclusion to think the following. What really goes down like this? Meaning, what really happened that caused this? And I would like to know personally myself, because this is a show that actually has a lot of representation. LGBTQ, there's a lot of teen suicide, there's suicide moments that are, let me rephrase that. There's an issue with suicide in the movie. There's an issue with sexual assault. There's an issue with, death in the family. There's an issue with cheating, relationships. There's an issue with, anger and rage. There's an issue with body structure. There's an issue with all that. There's love issues. There's, all this in the show. And it was handled by people, and a lot of fans thought that that was a good representation on how it provoked it. And that's where a lot of the fans come, but really a lot of the other fans they just love good TV, and this is good TV. And they decided to cancel it. Now, there's some predictions I would like to go through that may have caused this. Number one, maybe they just don't like these types of shows. Maybe Prime Video was like, nah, I don't like that. We're going to do other things. We're going to do Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power show that's apparently not a lot of people like, but we're going to put a lot of money into that, and we're not going to put money in these other shows. So yeah, let's get that show off the air, and let's get this one, to go and renew these other ones that none of you guys care about. And that's probably how I feel. They probably looked at this and they were like, well, we don't want to continue this because I don't think anybody's invested in this. But people are invested because the problem is the cliffhanger they left at the end of the show in season 2, which I won't spoil because I would actually like you guys to watch the show and see for yourself, because these are great characters, great performances, great cinematography. It is shot beautifully on location, and it is baffling to me that they actually had the audacity to be like, we're going to cancel the show. We're not going to give you a 3rd season. We're not going to be like, we're like the CW where it's like, oh, Riverdale, you guys are getting canceled, but you're going to get a second season, or you're going to get a final season. The Flash, you guys are going to get another season, but you guys are canceled after that. So yeah, you can make your season by 2023. Or you guys, you get 2 more seasons and that's it. They just were like, nah, you guys don't get anything. I mean, you guys love the show, but nah, you guys aren't going to do anything. We waited this long just to make to make you upset. So there you go. And to me, it is absolute BS, because that is a point. That is the problem with streaming services nowadays. You love a show so much that they just come out of there and it's like, I know you love it, but like we're not going to do that because we're the streaming service and we're not going to sell it. And the problem with this also is the fact that they're still holding on the property. Amazon Prime has not let go of this property. So the Wilds will be under Prime Video for as long as it can happen until Prime Video decides, you know what, maybe we'll make an announcement and be like, oh, sorry, we're going to do season 3, or we're going to make an actual movie of it, or we're going to do a book, or we're going to sell it to another streaming service, Hulu, Netflix, Peacock, Paramount Plus, I don't know. But now The problem with this, and this is not just for the Wilds, even though this is a huge problem for me, but the issue with the shows that do this, that get canceled, is that there's a fan base that cares. And sometimes the streaming services and the people who are behind that get sick and tired of it. But there has to be reasons. There was no reason. There was no reason indicated the fact that, oh, the Wilds is being canceled because this person had to go and was like, I don't want to do the show anymore. I quit. Or this person was like, I have to work on another project, so I can't do season 3. But then again, I mean, when Luke Perry died in Riverdale, they didn't want to not continue the show because he was one of the main characters of the show. They had to be like, okay, we're gonna actually, we're gonna write him in as he died. Rest in peace. Same thing with Paul Walker. They thought, oh, we're gonna have this is gonna be the last one. Furious 7 is gonna be the last movie, but they wanted to make more without him. And I would say the movies did not do great without him. That's personally me. But so they could have done that. But no actors said that. None of the writers were like, oh, I can't do this. None of the creators were like this. Nobody, the articles just said that they have canceled the show. And that pissed me the hell off because it's a show that I actually really like. It's a show that is good in my opinion, and it does do good at representing these sorts of topics. Now, the question is for you guys, do you think that this is a good idea? Do you think that more shows like this should happen or what? Whatever you think, feel free to let me know in the comments or in the chat right here. So, yeah. And with that said, that is it for the stream for today. So tune in next week. We're going to have 4 movie reviews for you guys. I'm going to review the newest horror film, Smile. I'm going to be reviewing the newest Disney Plus movie, sequel, Hocus Pocus 2. I know. I just want to watch all these movies, and get a good glimpse of it. We're going to review a new Amazon Prime original, Prime Video, a horror movie based off of a book called My Best Friend's Exorcism. And the 4th movie will be a surprise. I won't tell you what the surprise is, but it will be a surprise for you guys. So remember, Smile, Hocus Pocus, and My Best Friend's Exorcism. Those are going to be the 3 movies I'm going to be reviewing. And the 4th is going to be a surprise. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, and if you want to, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is hjw61823. With that said, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the stream, and I'll see you guys next week on October 5th. Stay frosty. I don't know why I said that. That's a Modern Warfare 2 reference if you don't get that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the stream, and I will see you guys next time.